Unlock the art of hand embroidery and bring your creations to life. Marvel at the exquisite beauty of this timeless craft, where each intricate stitch is a testament to patience, precision, and creativity. Bask in the vibrant colors of embroidery threads that weave together to form stunning designs, each unique and personal. From the simplest pattern to the most complex tapestry, hand embroidery transforms ordinary fabric into extraordinary masterpieces. So, are you ready to dive into this world of creativity? Begin your journey to master beautiful stitches today. Embroidery is a versatile craft, but before you dive in, you need to understand the basics. Welcome to the world of embroidery essentials. It's a realm where the right tools can be the difference between a frustrating experience and a delightful journey of creativity. Let's start by focusing on the heart of any embroidery project, the needle. Embroidery needles come in many sizes from 0 to 10. The larger the number, the smaller the needle. A size 5 needle, for instance, is a good starting point for beginners. They have larger eyes for easy threading and a sharp point to penetrate fabric smoothly. Next up is the embroidery hoop. This simple tool is your best ally to keep your fabric taut while stitching. Hoops come in various sizes and materials, with the most common being wood or plastic. Choose a size that comfortably fits your design, and remember, a tight hoop equals neat stitches. Speaking of fabric, it's the canvas of your craft. Cotton is a popular choice for beginners due to its stability and ease of use. However, linen, silk, and even synthetic fabrics offer exciting possibilities. Your fabric choice will depend on your project. But when starting, stick to medium-weight, non-stretchy fabrics. Now let's talk about threads. Embroidery threads, also known as floss, are the vibrant veins of your design. They come in a dazzling array of colors and types. Stranded cotton, also known as 6-strand floss, is a versatile choice. It's made of 6 loosely twisted strands that you can separate to adjust the thickness of your stitches. Choosing the right tools might seem overwhelming at first, but remember, it's all about what works best for you and your project. Start with the basics, and allow yourself the freedom to explore as your confidence grows. With these basic tools, you're ready to embark on your embroidery journey. It's a journey filled with creativity, patience, and the satisfaction of seeing your imagination come to life one stitch at a time. Starting with embroidery might feel intimidating, but once you know the steps, it becomes second nature. So let's dive right in. First things first, we're going to thread a needle. This may seem simple, but it's an essential part of the process. Here's a neat trick. Cut your thread at an angle, moisten the end slightly, and then push it through the eye of the needle. If you're struggling, a needle threader can be a lifesaver. Once threaded, pull through a length of thread, leaving a tail, and you're good to go. Next, we're going to tackle the hoop. The hoop keeps your fabric taut, making it easier to stitch. You'll have 2 circular pieces. The larger piece has a tightening device. Let's call this the outer hoop. Place your fabric over the smaller piece or the inner hoop, then push the outer hoop over the top, sandwiching the fabric between. Tighten the screw, and voila, you've mounted your fabric. Now let's get down to the fun part, stitching. We'll start with the simplest of all, the running stitch. Pierce the fabric with your needle from below, pulling the thread all the way through until you reach the knot at the end. Then push the needle back down through the fabric about 1/4 inch away. Repeat this process, creating a line of stitches. Then, there's the back stitch, perfect for lines and outlines. Start like you would with a running stitch, but when you bring the needle back up, come ahead of the last stitch. Then, go back down into the same hole as the end of the previous stitch. This creates a continuous line with no gaps. Remember, practice makes perfect. Don't fret if your stitches aren't perfect right away. With time, you'll see a great improvement. Now that you've grasped the basics, it's time to delve into the world of stitches. Let's continue our journey into the captivating art of hand embroidery. 5 basic stitches form the foundation of any embroidery project. Let's start with the running stitch, often considered the most basic of stitches. It's simple, yet versatile. Imagine it as hopping on and off the fabric. You push the needle up through the fabric, then back down a little way away, then up again, and so on. This stitch is perfect for outlining and creating simple straight lines. Next up, we have the back stitch. This one's great for outlining too, but it offers a continuous line, unlike the running stitch. Start as you would with a running stitch, but when you come up again, go back to the end of the previous stitch. This way, there's no space left between the stitches, creating a solid line. Now let's move on to the split stitch. This stitch is similar to the back stitch, but with a twist. Instead of going back to the end of the previous stitch, you'll be going through it, splitting the thread. This stitch gives a slightly textured, braided look, It's a beautiful option for outlines or even filling in areas. The satin stitch is next. This one's all about filling in areas with a smooth, satin-like finish. You're essentially creating a series of flat stitches side by side, covering an area entirely. It's like painting with thread, filling in your design with lush, vibrant colors. Finally, we have the French knot. This stitch can be a bit tricky, but it's worth mastering for its unique dot-like appearance. Bring the needle up through the fabric, wrap the thread around the needle a couple of times, then push the needle back down close to where it came up. Just like that, you've created a cute little knot. It's perfect for adding texture or creating points of interest in your design. Remember, practice makes perfect. Don't worry if your stitches aren't perfect the first time or even the 10th time. Keep going, keep practicing, and soon enough, you'll see your skills improve. Also remember that these are just the basics. Once you've mastered these, you can start exploring more complex stitches and techniques. Embroidery is a vast, beautiful world, and these stitches are your first steps into it. With these stitches under your belt, you're well on your way to creating beautiful embroidery projects. Finishing an embroidery project is just as important as the stitches themselves. It's like putting the final touches on a masterpiece, ensuring that your hard work is preserved and presented beautifully. Securing the thread ends is the first step to giving your project a neat finish. To do this, simply thread the needle through the last few stitches on the back side of the fabric. This hides the end of the thread and keeps it from unraveling. Next, trim off the extra thread close to the fabric, but be careful not to cut into your stitches. Now let's talk about framing. It's not just about aesthetic, but also about protecting your embroidery. You can use a traditional picture frame, or an embroidery hoop, for a more modern look. If you're using a picture frame, make sure to place a piece of acid-free paper between the fabric and the backing board to prevent any damage. If you're using an embroidery hoop, pull the fabric taut and trim the excess. Then you can finish it off by gluing or sewing a piece of felt to the back. Both methods give your embroidery project a clean and professional look, ready to be admired by everyone. Remember, the finish is what sets your work apart and shows off the effort and love you've poured into every stitch. With these finishing techniques, your embroidery project is ready to be showcased. Embroidery is a journey of creativity and craftsmanship. It's a path that invites you to explore, learn, and create. It's a world where the only limit is your imagination. You've seen the beauty that can be achieved with just a few basic stitches. You've seen the running stitch, the back stitch, the split stitch, the satin stitch, and the French knot. Each one is a tool for your creativity, a key to unlock your own beautiful designs. It's now your turn to pick up the needle and thread, to mount that first piece of fabric in the hoop, and to see where this journey takes you. Start with a single stitch, then another and another. Watch as your creation unfolds, and when you're ready, share your progress, share your journey. Let others be inspired by what you've achieved. Your journey into the world of hand embroidery starts with a single stitch. Unleash your creativity, and let your needles tell a story.